I've always been a reader, but at some point in the last year, something has changed. I used to do 99% of my reading on the Kindle, and I had very few physical books because at heart, I'm a minimalist. But I've started becoming obsessed with owning physical books again. I don't know if it's because of book talk or if it's a midlife crisis or something has just been shook loose this past November when I did NaNoWriMo, but now I'm obsessed. I want to own all the pretty books, especially those in the fantasy genre, and I want to read as many of them as possible and notate and journal and all the bookish things. So I got a bookcase not too long ago, but there's just not a lot of books on it yet. So as sort of a New Year's present to myself, I made an investment in getting this collection started. So I wanted to share with you my New Year's book haul, what books I got, and why I got them. And actually, I do have more books on the way, but some of them aren't coming until the end of January, and I honestly didn't want to wait that long to open the ones I have. In fact, I didn't wait. I opened some of these already, but that's okay. I'm still going to share them with you. So we'll get started with my Amazon haul first. So first is the Mistborn trilogy. So I read my first two Brandan Sanderson books last year, which were Tress of the Emerald Sea and You, Me and the Nightmare Painter, and I absolutely love them, and I love the way Brandan Sanderson writes. So I have decided that I'm going to read more of his work. If not all of his work, at least more of his work, especially in the Cosmere universe, and I heard that Mistborn was a good one to start with. So this was the first purchase that I made. Next, we have A Study in Drowning. I like to get shorter books to read in between like the longer epic fantasies, just as sort of like a palate cleanser. Sometimes it's nice to read something that isn't 700 pages long. I actually read this already in the short time that I've owned it. It's less than 400 pages. It's a pretty quick read. I really liked it. I recommend it if you like dark academia. It has a sweet little romance in there as well, and I enjoyed it, so check it out. Next is Powerless, and this was definitely a book talk influenced purchase. I have no idea what this is about, but I've heard that it is really, really good. So this is definitely on my TBR list, and I'm probably going to read this within the next couple of weeks. So, of course, as a fantasy reader, I really enjoyed the Sarah J Maas books. It's been about a year since I read through these books, and they're pretty good. So I wanted to get them because my goal is to have all of Sarah J Maas's books in my collection. So those were the books that I had opened already. Let's get into the books that I haven't opened yet. So this one I'm really, really excited about. Let's open it up. Gosh, these books are heavy. Yes, it is the Throne of Glass hardcover collection. I am so excited about these. I have to say that this is my favorite series out of everything Sarah J Maas has written so far. So I gotta say, I actually saved over $100 just by ordering this from the Amazon.com site rather than the Amazon.ca site. Even factoring in the exchange rate and the import costs, can I just complain for a minute, like how expensive books are in Canada compared to the US? It doesn't seem fair. Anyway, I've read just about all of these on my Kindle already. I just finished the tandem read of Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn last week, which was really epic. The only one that I have left to read is the Kingdom of Ash. So I plan to read this physical copy next, but I do have a little bit of a dilemma. I am kind of warring with myself over reading this because on one hand, I want to make sure that I read it soon because then I'll be totally caught up in the SJM universe by the time the House of Flame and Shadow comes out. And I also have a million other books that I want to read this year, so I don't want to linger too long on any one series. And yet, I kind of don't want this series to end because then it will be over. Like, the series was just an experience for me. You get what I'm saying? If there's any TOG readers out there that are watching this right now, please shout out in the comments and let me know if you think I'm being nuts or if you felt the same. All right, moving along. This box is from bookoutlet.ca. So this site is sort of like an overstock site where when bookstores have too many of a book, they'll send it to this book outlet store and you can purchase brand new books for very, very cheap. Of course, the selection is hit or miss, but sometimes you can find some really good stuff on there, and I definitely found a few books that I'm really excited about. So let's open this up and take a look. Oh, I don't think I need the exacto blade for this one, thankfully. All right, let's take a look. Okay, first up we have the paperback version of Legendborn. I have heard so much about this on Book Talk for the last couple of years. Actually, everyone has been saying to read this book. So I was finally able to get this copy for under $10. So totally worth it. I'm excited to check this out. Next, we have The Tale of the Last Flower Bride. So this was one of the top fantasy picks on the Goodreads Choice Awards, I believe. So I'm very interested. I actually don't really know what it's about, but I'm pretty excited to read it. It doesn't look like it's too long, so it'll be a good palate cleanser in between those massive Brandan Sanderson reads. Next up, we have Light Lark. So this is another book that I've heard so much about on Book Talk, and it sounds fun, so I'm excited to give this one a read as well. And then last but not least, we have Strange the Dreamer. I actually know absolutely nothing about this book, but it was like $5, so I thought, why not? Let's throw it in there. It's fantasy, it has good reviews on Goodreads, so I'm definitely excited to check this out. So I actually still have a couple of books coming. The Will of the Many is one of them. I'm really excited to read this book, and I looked high and low for it everywhere online and in the stores, but no one has it. Even Amazon is like 3 weeks out to ship it. So I won't be seeing that until the end of the month. And then I have a signed special edition coming of V.E. Schwab's The Fragile Threads of Power, which I'm also pretty excited about. But other than that, it's just a lot of resisting and holding myself back from buying even more books because I have, only one bookcase and I need to be selective about what I fill it up with. Plus this new hobby of mine can add up in cost pretty quickly if I let it. So let's get these babies on the shelf and see how it looks. All right, so here's the after. So still quite a bit of space left on the shelves, but it looks better. I think we're off to a good start here.